Hey Jake, how's it going today?
Hey Sarah, I'm doing great, thanks. Actually, something funny happened to me this morning.
Oh really? Tell me.
So, I was at the coffee shop, right? And this guy in front of me was trying to order his coffee in English. He clearly knew the words, like he knew exactly what he wanted, but he kept stopping and restarting his sentence. He said, I want, I would, can I, and I could see he was getting so frustrated with himself.
Oh no, that's so relatable. I remember when I first started speaking English more regularly, I had the exact same problem. I knew the words in my head, but when I opened my mouth, everything just disappeared.
Exactly. And the thing is, his English was actually pretty good when he finally said the full sentence. He said, "Can I have a large oat milk latte, please?" Perfectly fine.
That's the thing, right? Most people who struggle with speaking English don't actually have a vocabulary problem. They have a confidence problem.
100%. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How to speak English more fluently and more confidently.
Yes, and we're not going to give you boring grammar rules. We're going to share real, practical techniques that you can start using today, like right after this episode.
So, if you've ever felt stuck when trying to speak English, if you've ever thought, I understand everything, but I can't speak, this episode is for you.
All right, let's start with something important. Jake, what do you think is the biggest mistake English learners make when they try to speak?
Oh, that's easy. They try to translate. They think of the sentence in their own language first, then they translate it word by word into English, and that's so slow.
Yes, that's called mental translation. And it's probably the #1 reason people feel stuck when speaking.
So the first technique we want to share is think in English. I know it sounds difficult, but hear me out.
It's actually simpler than people think. You don't have to think about philosophy in English. Start small. When you see a dog on the street, don't think the word in your language. Just think dog. When you're hungry, think I'm hungry in English.
Right. Start with simple observations. It's raining. That car is red. I need to buy milk. Just describe what you see and what you do in your head in English.
And here's a great exercise. It's called self-talk. Basically, you narrate your daily life in English. Like, when you're cooking, you say in your head, okay, I'm cutting the onions. Now I'm adding oil to the pan.
I love that technique. It's like being a commentator of your own life. And now Jake is walking to the fridge. He opens the door. He grabs the orange juice.
Ha! Exactly like that. And the best part? There's no pressure because nobody is listening. You can make mistakes, and it's totally fine.
All right, so technique number 1 is think in English and practice self-talk. Now let's talk about some key vocabulary for today's topic. These are words and expressions you'll hear a lot when people talk about speaking skills.
Great idea. Okay, the first one is fluency. Fluency means the ability to speak smoothly, without too many pauses or hesitations. For example, her English fluency improved a lot after she moved to London.
Next one, confidence. Confidence is when you believe in yourself and your abilities. He speaks with a lot of confidence, even when he makes small mistakes.
And that's a key point. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means being comfortable with being imperfect.
Love that. Okay, next word, hesitate. To hesitate means to pause because you're unsure. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Or, I hesitated before answering because I wasn't sure about the grammar.
Another important one, struggle. To struggle means to have difficulty with something. Many learners struggle with pronunciation. It's a very common word in this context.
And the opposite of struggle, you could say, is to improve. To improve means to get better. You can improve your speaking by practicing every day.
Here's a really useful expression, to be stuck. When you're stuck, you can't move forward. I feel stuck. I understand English, but I can't speak it. That's a feeling many learners know very well.
Oh, totally. And another great expression, to make progress. It means to move forward, to get better over time. Don't worry, you're making progress even if you don't feel it.
And finally, let's talk about the word pace. Pace means the speed at which you do something. Speak at your own pace. There's no rush.
Perfect. So we've got fluency, confidence, hesitate, struggle, improve, to be stuck, to make progress, and pace. If you're listening right now, try to remember these words because we'll use them a lot in this episode.
Okay, Jake, let's do a little practice now. I'm going to set up a situation. Imagine you're at a dinner party. You meet someone new. They speak English. You want to make conversation, but you're nervous. Let's act it out.
All right, I'll be the nervous English learner and you be the person I'm meeting.
Hi there, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too. I'm Jake. Sorry, my English is not very good.
Oh no, your English sounds great. Where are you from?
I'm from France. I moved here last year.
That's awesome. How do you like it here so far?
It's nice. I like the city. The food is different, but good different, you know?
Ha, I totally get that. So, what do you do?
I'm how do you say, I work with computers. I'm a software developer.
Oh, cool. That's a great field. Do you work with a team?
Yes, and that's actually why I need to improve my English. We have meetings in English every day, and sometimes I hesitate a lot because I'm afraid of making mistakes.
I think everyone feels that way at first. But honestly, your English is really good. Just keep practicing.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Okay, let's pause there. So, Jake, what did you notice in that conversation?
Well, first of all, the other person was really nice and encouraging. That happens more often than you think in real life. Most people are patient with English learners.
Exactly. And did you notice how you said, "Sorry, my English is not very good"? That's actually something we'd recommend you stop saying.
Right. Instead of apologizing for your English, you can just speak. Or if you really want to say something, you can say, I'm still learning English, or English is not my first language. Those sound much more positive and confident.
Yes, "I'm still learning" is so much better than "my English is bad." Because "I'm still learning" shows progress. It shows you're on a journey.
Great point. Now let me replay that same introduction, but with more confidence this time.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Jake. Nice to meet you. I'm from France. I moved here about a year ago. I work in tech as a software developer. I'm still working on my English, but I love practicing.
See? That was so much better. Same information, same level of English, but the energy was completely different.
And it felt better too. When you speak with confidence, you actually make fewer mistakes because you're not overthinking everything.
That's so true. All right, let's talk about another super useful technique. Have you heard of chunking?
Chunking, yes. So chunking is when you learn phrases as whole units instead of building sentences word by word.
Exactly. Instead of thinking, "I would like to have," you just learn the chunk, "I'd like to have." It comes out faster and more naturally.
Let me give some examples of useful chunks for everyday speaking. Ready?
Go.
To be honest, this is a great way to start a sentence when you want to share your real opinion. To be honest, I didn't enjoy the movie that much.
Nice one. Another chunk. The thing is, you use this when you want to explain a reason or a problem. I'd love to come to the party, but the thing is, I have to work late.
As far as I know, this one is great when you're not 100% sure about something. As far as I know, the meeting is at 3 o'clock.
I'm not gonna lie. This is informal but super natural. I'm not gonna lie, learning English is hard sometimes.
Here's one I love. It depends on. Use this when there's no simple yes or no answer. Do you prefer coffee or tea? It depends on my mood.
And one more. I was wondering if... This is a polite way to ask something. I was wondering if you could help me with something.
These chunks are like shortcuts. Once you memorize them, you can plug in different words and create hundreds of sentences.
Exactly. I'd like to have a coffee. I'd like to have some information. I'd like to have a word with you. Same chunk, different endings.
Now let's do another situation. This time, let's say you're at work and you need to give your opinion in a meeting.
Okay, I'll set the scene. We're in a team meeting discussing a new project. Jake, give your opinion on the timeline.
Okay, to be honest, I think the timeline is a bit tight. As far as I know, we still need 2 more weeks for testing. I was wondering if we could push the deadline to the end of the month?
That was great. You used 3 chunks naturally, and it sounded so professional.
And notice I didn't use complicated grammar. The sentences were simple but effective. That's the key. You don't need fancy words to sound fluent.
Absolutely. Fluency is not about using big words. It's about communicating clearly and smoothly.
Okay, let's talk about another situation. What about when you don't understand something? That happens to everyone, even native speakers.
Oh, this is so important. Let's practice. I'll say something, and you can practice asking me to repeat or clarify.
Go for it.
So the quarterly report needs to be submitted by the fiscal year end, and we need to reconcile the discrepancies in the ledger before the audit.
Okay. Sorry, could you say that again more slowly? I didn't catch the last part.
Sure, we need to fix the numbers in our reports before the big check at the end of the year.
Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you.
See? That was perfect. And here are some great phrases for when you don't understand. You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that? Could you say that more slowly? What do you mean by? Could you explain that in a different way?"
And here's one that's super useful, just to make sure I understand. And then you repeat what you think they said. Like, just to make sure I understand, we need to finish the report by Friday?
That's a power move. Native speakers do this all the time. It shows you're listening and you're engaged.
All right, Sarah, let's talk about some common mistakes now. What are the errors you hear most often from English learners?
Oh, good question. Okay, mistake number 1, using make and do incorrectly. A lot of learners say make homework instead of do homework, or do a mistake instead of make a mistake.
Right. The general rule is use make when you create or produce something. Make a cake, make a plan, make a decision, and use do for tasks and activities. Do homework, do the dishes, do exercise.
But there are exceptions, which is why it's better to learn these as chunks. Just memorize make a mistake and do homework as fixed phrases.
Mistake number 2, pronunciation of th. Many learners say z instead of the or tink instead of think.
Here's a quick tip. Put your tongue between your teeth and blow gently. The, think, this. It feels weird at first, but it gets easier with practice.
And honestly, even if your th isn't perfect, people will still understand you. Don't let it stop you from speaking.
Mistake number 3, filler words. Some learners say or way too much. A better strategy is to use English filler words instead.
Like, well, so, let me think. Actually, these make you sound more natural and buy you time to think.
And the last common mistake, speaking too fast when you're nervous. When you're anxious, you might try to rush through your sentences, but this makes it harder for people to understand you and harder for you to think.
So our advice is, slow down, take a breath, speak at a comfortable pace. Remember, pace is important. A slow speaker who is clear is always better than a fast speaker who is confusing.
Let's talk about some cultural tips now. Jake, what's something that surprises English learners about real conversations?
Great question. I think the biggest thing is small talk. In many cultures, you get straight to the point. But in English-speaking countries, especially the US and the UK, small talk is super important.
Yes, before any meeting, any dinner, any interaction, there's usually some small talk. How are you? How's your day going? Nice weather, isn't it?
And the expected answer to "how are you" is always something positive. Good, thanks. Or, not bad, how about you? Even if you're having a terrible day.
That surprises a lot of learners. Another cultural tip. In the US, people tend to be more direct with compliments. If someone says, "I love your shirt," or "Your English is amazing," just say, "Thank you." Don't say, no, no, it's not good.
Right. Accepting compliments is important. Just smile and say thank you. It's that simple.
And a third tip, the difference between British and American English in everyday life. In the US, people say apartment. In the UK, it's flat. In the US, vacation. In the UK, holiday. In the US, subway. In the UK, underground or tube.
These differences aren't huge, but they're good to know, especially if you watch a lot of British shows or American movies. You'll hear both versions.
One more thing. In professional settings, especially in emails and meetings, English speakers use a lot of indirect language. Instead of I disagree, you'll hear I see your point, but, or that's an interesting idea. Have we considered?
Yes, this is very important for the workplace. Being too direct can sometimes feel rude in English, especially in British English. It's all about softening your language.
Okay, let's do some final practice. I'm going to give you 5 real-life scenarios, and Jake, you're going to show us how to respond confidently. Ready?
Let's do this.
Scenario 1. You're at a job interview. The interviewer says, "Tell me about yourself."
Sure. So, I'm a marketing specialist with about 5 years of experience. I've worked on digital campaigns for several international companies. I'm passionate about creative strategies, and I'm looking for a new challenge. That's why I'm excited about this position.
Perfect. Short, clear, confident. Scenario 2. You're at a restaurant and your order is wrong.
Excuse me, I think there might be a mix-up with my order. I ordered the grilled chicken, but I received the pasta. Could you check, please?
Polite and clear. Scenario 3. Your neighbor invites you to a barbecue, but you can't go.
Oh, that sounds great. Unfortunately, I already have plans this Saturday, but I'd love to come next time. Thanks for the invitation.
Nice. You said no, but kept it friendly. Scenario 4. You're on the phone with customer service and you don't understand their instructions.
Sorry, I'm not sure I follow. Could you walk me through that step by step, and maybe a bit more slowly? I want to make sure I get it right.
And finally, Scenario 5. Someone asks about your weekend plans and you want to keep the conversation going.
Well, I'm thinking about going hiking on Saturday if the weather is nice. There's this trail I've been wanting to try. What about you? Any plans?
Awesome. Notice how Jake answered and asked a question back. That's the secret to keeping conversations going. Always ask something in return.
It keeps the flow natural and shows you're interested in the other person.
All right, let's wrap things up. So today we covered a lot. Let me do a quick recap.
First, we talked about thinking in English and using self-talk to practice on your own.
Then we learned about chunking, memorizing useful phrases as whole units so you can speak faster.
We practiced real conversations, meeting someone new, giving your opinion at work, and handling situations when you don't understand.
We covered common mistakes like make versus do, pronunciation of th, and speaking too fast.
And we shared cultural tips about small talk, compliments, and indirect language.
So here's your homework. This week, try these 3 things. 1. Practice self-talk for 5 minutes every day. Narrate what you're doing in English. 2. Learn 5 new chunks from this episode and use them in real conversations. 3. Next time you speak English, focus on speaking slowly and clearly instead of trying to be perfect.
And remember, progress is more important than perfection. Every time you speak English, even if it's just one sentence, you're getting better.
If you found this episode helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We post new episodes every week to help you improve your English.
And leave us a comment below. Tell us, what's the hardest thing about speaking English for you? We'd love to know, and we might make an episode about it.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone. Keep going. You're doing amazing.
And mistake number 4, giving up too soon. A lot of people quit right before they're about to have a breakthrough.
A breakthrough. That's when you suddenly make a big jump in your ability. After 6 months of practice, I finally had a breakthrough and I could understand English movies without subtitles.
That's amazing. And breakthroughs often come after a period of feeling stuck. So if you feel stuck right now, it might mean you're close to a breakthrough.
That's really encouraging. Now, let's talk about some cultural tips. Sarah, are there differences in how people talk about motivation and self-improvement in different English-speaking countries?
Great question. In American English, people tend to be very direct and enthusiastic about motivation. You'll hear things like, "You got this," "You can do it," "Keep pushing."
And in British English?
British people tend to be a bit more reserved. They might say, "You're doing well," or "Keep at it," rather than the more enthusiastic American style. Neither is better, they're just different.
What about Australian English?
Australians are very laid back and encouraging. They might say, "No worries, mate, you'll get there." It's very relaxed and supportive.
That's interesting. And another cultural thing. In English-speaking cultures, it's very common to compliment people on their effort, not just their results.
That's so true. In American culture especially, you'll hear people say, "I'm so proud of you for trying," or "Good for you for putting yourself out there." The effort matters as much as the result.
Putting yourself out there means making an effort to do something even though it's risky or scary. She really put herself out there by giving a presentation in English.
And here's a cultural tip that a lot of people don't know. In English-speaking cultures, it's considered very positive to talk about your goals and progress. In some cultures, people might think it's bragging. But in English-speaking countries, sharing your learning journey is encouraged.
That's so true. You can say things like, "I've been working on my English for 6 months," and people will respond with, "That's awesome. Good for you."
Another cultural thing. If someone corrects your English, don't take it personally. In most cases, they're trying to help you. A good response is, "Oh, thanks for the correction. I'll remember that."
Being open to corrections is a sign of maturity and confidence. It shows you care about improving.
Perfect. Now, let's do some quick practice scenarios. I'm going to give you a situation, and you tell me what you would say.
Okay, I'm ready.
Scenario 1. Your friend asks you about your New Year's resolution. You want to say that you're going to improve your English this year.
I would say, my New Year's resolution is to take my English to the next level. I'm going to practice speaking every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
Great answer. Take something to the next level means to improve it significantly. Scenario 2. Someone asks you how your English classes are going.
They're going really well, actually. I'm starting to get the hang of the present perfect tense. It was confusing at first, but I'm making progress.
Beautiful. Using "get the hang of" in a real context. Scenario 3. Your coworker makes fun of your English pronunciation.
This is a tough one. I would say, I appreciate the feedback. I'm still learning and I'm proud of how far I've come. At least I'm trying.
Perfect response. Confident but not aggressive. And you used "how far I've come," which means how much progress you've made.
Scenario 4. You want to explain to your family why you spend so much time studying English.
I'm investing in my future. English opens so many doors for my career and for traveling. It's not easy, but I believe it's worth it.
Opens doors is such a common expression. It means it creates new opportunities. Like, speaking English opened doors for me that I never expected.
Exactly. And let me add one more scenario. Scenario 6. You meet another English learner who is feeling discouraged. What do you say to encourage them?
I would say, "Hey, I totally understand how you feel. I've been there too. But let me tell you, it gets easier. Every day you practice, you're building something amazing. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just focus on being better than you were yesterday."
That was beautiful, Jake. And that's actually a great way to practice your English, by encouraging other people in English. You practice your speaking, and you make someone's day better.
It's a win-win situation. A win-win means both people benefit. You practice your English, and they feel better. Everybody wins.
And one more. Scenario 5. You're having a bad day with English. Nothing is making sense. What do you tell yourself?
I would say, it's okay to have a bad day. This doesn't mean I'm failing. Tomorrow will be better. I just need to take it one step at a time.
That was perfect. And honestly, talking to yourself in English is one of the best things you can do. It's free, you can do it anywhere, and nobody is judging you.
Self-talk in English. That's actually a great habit to build.
Absolutely. All right, let's wrap things up. Jake, can you give our listeners a quick summary of what we talked about today?
Of course. So today we talked about how your mindset is the key to improving your English. We learned some important vocabulary like mindset, mindset shift, fluency, consistency, comfort zone, growth, and progress.
We also learned some great expressions like take it one step at a time, get the hang of something, be on the right track, push through, and it's about the journey, not the destination.
We talked about common mistakes like only studying grammar, translating in your head, comparing yourself to others, and giving up too soon.
And we practiced real conversations and scenarios that you can use in your daily life.
So here's your homework for this week. Every morning, I want you to say one positive thing about your English in English. Something like, I am making progress, or I am getting better every day.
That's such a great homework assignment. And also, try to speak English out loud for at least 5 minutes every day. Talk to yourself. Describe what you see. Narrate your day. Just get those words out of your mouth.
If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment telling us about your English learning journey. We love reading your stories.
And remember, you are already amazing for being here and investing in your English. Don't give up. You've got this.
You've got this. See you in the next episode, everyone.
Bye-bye.